So this is my SG Les Paul, and I bought it long before vintage guitar prices went crazy. I'm not going to tell you what year that was, but it was a long time ago. Anyway, so the guy I bought it from was not a guitar player. He was a mechanic, but he played guitar, sort of. He tried to imitate Luther Perkins from, Johnny Cash's band. But when he bought it, it was in two pieces. And you can see between the neck and the neck pickup, there's a piece of metal. And this is how he fixed it. The repair he did on this, even though he had no idea what he was doing, is a pretty good one, considering. And it feels like the neck's fairly, pretty stable for an SG. He had been storing this guitar in the rafters of his basement, as one does, in the original cardboard case, and the cardboard case was falling apart. The guitar itself, the strings were all mismatched. Some were kind of rusty. There were some flat wounds, some round wounds, some really big strings, some not so big strings. And I knew it needed a little bit of cleaning up, but I thought I always wanted one of these, a red SG. And he wasn't asking that much, so I thought, I'll buy it. So this guitar has that original, I guess they called it a vibrola back then. It was this original design where the whammy bar goes across the body like this and not up and down, like every other whammy bar system known to man. Gibson decided this was a good idea. Just so you know, it wasn't. But I kind of like this. I used to use it all the time. It was fine. It worked fine, I think. It does not have PAFs. It has numbered pickups. And I've been told that they started changing those over in 62. And if that's correct, then this is probably a 62. That's what I tell myself anyway. But it's all original. All these parts, with the exception of the tuners, which are Schallers. I don't remember putting these on this guitar, but I might have done that. So it might have been done by the previous owner. I don't know. But it was really common at the time to, as soon as you get a guitar, it didn't matter what it was. It could be a Gold Top Les Paul, Sunburst Les Paul, Stratocaster, but mostly Gibsons. You swap out the tuning pegs. And the original tuning pegs were perfectly fine. But that's what they did. It was done all the time. This guitar is actually in pretty good condition with the exception of the neck. It also has the 5-screw pickguard, which they did in the early 60s. It's got some marks on it, and my favorite, let's see if I can get this to reflect. There's one right here. Oh, right there. The previous owner invited some friends over, and he was singing this song and playing the guitar. And one of his friends took issue with his interpretation of this Johnny Cash tune and threw a full beer bottle and made this dent in the guitar. If you look at the back, there's some marks, buckle marks, but there's no real buckle rasp per se. It's got some really nice checking all over the body. And there's some, let's see, on the bottom. Whoops, let's see here. There's some wear. The face of the guitar is still pretty good, and the frets have very little wear. The most of the wear you see is actually in the fretboard, not the frets. We buy these guitars, and if they're old, or even if they're not that old, they have all kinds of nicks and bruises or whatever. Do you wonder, how did that happen? Well, I know how this one happened. It was a beer bottle. This was my number one for a long time. And I just feel like it's a bit of history, and it's probably the only vintage guitar that I'll ever own again, because they're just, you know, they're crazy prices now. And certainly a Gibson SG is going to be way more than, not even close to what I paid for this one. Even the ones that are broken, or even the ones that don't have the original parts, the prices are out of sight for me. So anyway, I'm keeping this one. It plays great, and it still sounds good. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Let me know what you thought about the video. Did you like it or did you hate it? Anyway, till next time.